Hi, everyone. This is Dave Carberry from Radius, presenting today at the Ocean City Motel Hotel Restaurant Association event. Sorry, couldn't do this in person. We were in person last year, but because of COVID, well, we're doing the Zoom stuff. So today I am here, actually, you can probably see the background, at a hotel because I travel between where I reside, Berlin, Maryland, and also Baltimore and Richmond. And today I decided I was just going to do this at a local Baltimore hotel because I'm in Baltimore right now. But if you haven't been, this is the Canopy. It's a Hilton hotel here downtown in Baltimore. But check this out. This is actually a real view. If you can see it. So, it's amazing. It's a cool backdrop today. I got to show that because it's a little much light, but I just wanted to share that. But welcome. I'm going to share my screen right now with you. I've got a little presentation to show just about some of the stuff that we do as in Radius and how we're helping businesses. So I don't know if you saw our postcard last year, but we were at the event and we are a location-based targeting company. Work with a ton of different types of businesses, but today we want to present really hiring ideas, things that you can do to help your business before the season really kicks into gear. And we work with a lot of different businesses that range from the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. to Donate Life, Harbor East, which is exactly where I am right now. Phillips, we've done campaigns for Arundel Federal. So we work in different types of industries, nonprofits, banking, you name it, we've done it. So if you're interested in having a conversation with us, just hit us up. We're happy to help clients like you to really engage audiences. But today I'm going to walk through just some of the things that we do as a business with special tactics for data targeting. So about me, I am a brainstormer. I love helping businesses. I started in Radius 6 years ago. It's one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. It's super exciting, especially to share ideas and work with different businesses. I've been in advertising, since I was a teenager, working at WPOC Radio, advertising.com scripts, Channel 2, ABC, you name it, I've probably done it. So I have a ton of experience that I can share with you. And do digital marketing, branding, social media, video, you name it. We've done it. We've worked with different clients, and we really like to help businesses create and work on those ideas that they've started and grow it. And today I just want to go into what's happening in the industry. You're seeing it. Last year was just wow, never like it. So that the cell phone has really become the tour guide for people. That's what everybody's doing. They're on their phone on a regular. You're probably on it now. You're waiting to go to the next thing, or you see people in your lobby that are always on the phone, or you see people in the restaurant that are constantly on the phone. They're engaged, and they're not engaged with real life sometimes because they're so into their phone and what they're doing. So you as a business have to figure out, all right, how do I engage with those people that are always on the go and have their mobile phone? So that's what we do. We help businesses really figure out how can they reach this active audience that is always moving around. If you take a look at just the time spent on television, regular land-based TV has been going down, as you know, over time. And now that you can see these people on just different devices traveling around, you can watch TV wherever you want to watch TV. You can even screen share it. And I know this morning on the event that they talked about hotels being able to do the sharing devices and connected device. So those things are super, super important for you as a business just to recognize with the trends for technology to make sure that you're engaging with those audiences that are there. Location-based marketing has been around since, the iPhone has been around since 2008 and even longer. Direct mail is always location-based too. So you can do a combination of those types of tactics. What we do is we work with businesses to figure out what their audiences are doing, how can we actually target them based off of their phone and their mobile devices, and what they're doing in a normal, regular life. So in 2020, the data that was there, we were seeing regular activities happening, all up until COVID happened. And the data that was being able to access, we've lost so much of it because people weren't living that let's go to the beach, let's go do this. They were staying at home And as we get closer and closer to normal life, we're seeing the activity just grow. And you might have been a part of this morning's expo where they were talking about that January surge. Well, that is happening. If you go to Google Trends, which is super easy, it's www.google.com/trends. You can go in and type and research anything. This one we did for really just looked at 2020 and beach road trips. They were still searching. So you have the opportunity to reach these people within some of the searches that are occurring with Google, running pay-per-click ads, but the data that's showing is where are they coming from? And they're obviously up and down the East Coast looking for the beach road trips because it's easy to get to, just like you know. So when you're planning out your marketing and mapping it out for the rest of the summer, spring to the summer, one of the things that you want to do is make sure that you're engaging in those zip codes and zones where people are. Because if you take a look at just what they've been doing in the past 5 years, the searches for Ocean City, you can see that they're always going up in March, pretty steadily up until June, and they're searching, and then all of a sudden, boom, it dips down into the wintertime. The wild thing about last year was it started doing the regular cycle in February, but then all of a sudden, March and April and May, it just really fell off a cliff. And then June, boom, major spike. So from that spike, what you were seeing is that people are engaged. They wanted to travel. They wanted to get away. How do they do it? And they were still looking for Ocean City, things to do last year. And it was one of the biggest times compared to the historic side of it. So you're going to see more of that happening this year because people are ready. They're ready to go. And you need to be prepared for it and at least marketing to get them before your competitor gets them. So if you take a look at some of the data, staying at home. So when you look at just what some of the maps are showing, this is where people weren't traveling. You do see up in the Philly region, Maryland, they were traveling, they were doing things, they were getting away. But as we've seen that there are a lot of people staying at home, that's opening up now. And beach lovers, you can go in and pull data. We can pull data for you about where those beach lovers are. Where are people coming from? You see it in the data that you collect. Zip codes, you know, if you're collecting that type of data, you see where your customers are coming from. And that is the most important thing as a business, to have your own data. So knowing the analytics, showing what's happening on the regular, that's what you need to be analyzing right now. Because it's happening. We're weeks away from you guys really exploding, and going and doing a deep and daily dive is crucial. So figure out your Google Analytics, figure out where people are coming from, look at any of the shopping data that you might have in the past year plus, and any of the email addresses that you've collected over the years, because it's going to be more important to reach back out to these people to catch them, because things are happening. And one of the things about Google, I don't know if you've seen the news, but Google has talked about pulling away third-party data resources. And that won't affect you as a business if you are collecting some of that first-party data. So you can take your data, you can take your email list and website actions and match them back up to what might be happening on Facebook. So how do you find a customer that has been on Facebook or Google or any of the networks that are out there? You take your information, blend it, provide it to a service like ours or one of your web developing companies that you might use, and actually work with them to figure out your clusters. How do you cluster these people and work with a customer that's been there in the past that you want to try to get back to, bring them back in? And just going through those pieces, Facebook, I wanted to add the social media because, of course, it's super, super important for you as a business to make sure you're continually engaging with them. Have somebody posting one time a day for now, but you're going to have to, because of the algorithms that are occurring in Facebook and Instagram, as a business, your ad's not going to be, your post isn't going to be seen that much just because of the way they've changed and restructured it. So you're going to need to post more often and or even just spend money in the system to promote your business. That way you can fight against all the feeds that are happening with everybody else that's coming into their feed, because the feeds are so busy right now because they've gained information on how to hit those people. And of course they want you to spend more money. Snapchat's a great way to geo-target somebody, especially the younger audiences that are out there in that 18 to 30 area. If you're looking to hire someone, use Snapchat to hire those people. I know instead of spending money on Indeed, typically, I don't know how many people are reaching out to Indeed to do that, but Indeed's expensive to get some of those leads for hiring. So look at Snapchat as a way to actually engage a younger audience to really hit. And then if you're looking at conventions, things that might be happening for businesses as we start getting back and allowing bigger events, LinkedIn's a great way to do it. So, there's all these different things on social that you can be planning and doing right now, just to make sure that you're not, and number one, you don't want to spend too much, but you want to engage with people that are out there because they're constantly looking at different things, and taking your audience data and blending it with some of those social is super, super important. So we're going to get into programmatic a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but programmatic basically is an ad that pops up within a millisecond. You've probably seen this before, but when you buy an ad and you put in your behaviors and you put in your data, then it shows up to those audiences that matter. And Verizon, I put it up there. People might not be familiar with Verizon, but you're on your phone all the time. You might have a Verizon phone. They actually have a network. They, besides the cell phone network, they have an ad network where they purchased and acquired AOL, Yahoo, and they've got Huffington Post. So it's a big ad community too. So there's data that they're gathering as first-party data, even if Google, and they bought it to go up against Google, but even if Google is stopping from third-party data and some of the other interactions, you've got companies like Verizon that do have a ton of data that you can utilize. And that's what we do. We work with clients that don't necessarily want to deal with some of these bigger companies, but we act as their go-between. Amazon is another way. Amazon is one of the largest advertisers out there, collecting and running ads for clients. So that's what's happening in the industry. That's what programmatic is. It's display ads, it's geofencing, it's retargeting. Contextual, I'll get into just some of the ways that ads can be used to find people, and especially for recruiting. So what is a geofence? You might have heard, you probably already know, but it's really reaching somebody with an active usership. Either it's an IP address or it's their mobile devices that are in an area. And then it's nearby a business. It could be, a tourist attraction in the city. It could be people that are at Jolly Rogers. It could be people that are in a Home Depot. It's really fencing somebody in an area. We can go as tight as 100 meters, which is about a football field. If you look at what Google and Facebook do, they're about a half a mile. So they aren't really super tight geofencing. Google and Facebook are actually, they're not, the radius is pretty big. So if you're looking to reach people within blocks of your business at that time, in that moment, then you want to look at more of device IDs and going after those mobile phones in a tighter radius. If you look at retargeting, again, that's where somebody has been. So that mobile device for geo-retargeting, if they were at a Home Depot or if they were in a hotel or if they were in a restaurant, we can actually go in and find a person that, let's say, they were in a restaurant 5 days out of, 30 days. So more than likely, we can even set it larger to be, they've been in a restaurant 10 or more days in the last 30 days. If that's the case, then that's probably a restaurant employee that you're targeting. And those things can be done with the technology that's out there. So there's some interesting things that you can do to try to hit people where you need to hit them at the right time in the right place. You can advertise at events and attendees thing, which we'll talk about. But again, it gets back to having more of a narrow radius for these people. Another way to actually advertise and display is contextual. So finding the right publications that are out there that really match up with what you're doing. So when you are running an ad, you want to say, let's hit if it's hotels and motels, resort side of it, you want to make sure that you're on some of these travel specific websites that are out there. If it's not being targeted for, a region that you're looking at, if you want to hit Philadelphia or certain areas, which might be from Philadelphia publications or TV stations. So contextual is important. One here locally, Delmarva Now, they run display advertising. So if you're looking to hit any type of people, you'll see a programmatic ad, match up the behaviorals that you're doing, the zip codes that you're doing, and your ad could be right into the Delmarva Now and any of the above, which like Chicago Tribune, Huffington Post, Forbes, you name it, they're running display advertising across the networks. Video, wanted to throw this in. Video is super, super important, as I mentioned before, because people are moving around, they're running television and watching shows during their time frame now. It's not so much as that I got to run home and catch the news. They could be recording it on YouTube TV and come home at 8 o'clock at night, or they actually probably could have watched it the next day or 3 days later. Some people are just recording these things on demand and then running them later, and that's how television is happening. So things have changed completely when you think about what your advertising and marketing is, and you can still run video inexpensively. Digital video is really overtaking regular television. Some of the cable stuff that's out there, you're seeing Peacock that just launched. Peacock launched maybe a few weeks ago, and then you've got Disney Plus, which doesn't run any ads. But the stream's occurring, and the stream is just going to keep growing as it changes. So think about your business and what you are doing with video. Do you have a 30-second video produced? You can get them produced now really inexpensively, probably under a couple of grand, depending on who you work with. Maybe it could be $1,000, or you could do one yourself. You can actually take your phone out. If you've got somebody that knows how to do editing, do it. Go out there, create an ad, do something that matters, and you can reach these people on a regular basis on their phones with placing the right ads where they are. So, there's different variations, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5 seconds. And I actually, this morning, I did a search just for Ocean City restaurant commercial, just to see what popped up. And that was that Dough Roller commercial. The weird thing is that thing was uploaded in 2013. So here's somebody that has been running since then, and that's the first thing. So, you want to engage with an audience and make sure that you're doing different things. And if you're not creating a video and popping it up on YouTube, then you've lost potential. And, the Dough Rollers had that thing out there for 8 years. It might be an outdated ad and video, but it's still placed number one. And maybe they should be doing the updates on that too. Another client that we work with, just to kind of show you some of the industry changes. So dispensary, being in Berlin, I have seen the traffic over on 50 from the dispensary. Wow. During COVID time, it was absolutely insane. There's like 25 cars in deep, just up and down Route 50. But they're advertising. Well, actually, I don't even know if they even advertise to get that much traffic. It's probably just happening. But cannabis companies can advertise now in certain states. There's rules and regulations. But in this case scenario, we worked with a client that's out in Portland, spending about $1,000 a month, and you can see where people are actually hitting I probably shouldn't say hitting, but their little dots are right there on the map where they're clicking on an ad itself. So, and these are different, the squiggly lines are just the different types of variation of the ads that are running on those campaigns and who's seeing more traction. So what the click-through rates might be. There were no actual conversions, but we can see what devices show up near the dispensary. So within a 33 meter window, we can actually see if they've been 33 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, has that device actually gotten close to the business itself? And where are those people going? So it's really cool what you can do with data now, and especially with device IDing and seeing where that GPS targeting is. Some of the other things that you can do. So, in the moment, if there's the Beach Lax Festival happening, or if there's the conventions, I know we're starting to get back to doing things at the convention center eventually, you can start geo-targeting the convention center. Anybody that might be there, let's hit the real estate conventions there. Well, hit the real estate people while they're there at the beach, but you can also hit them back in Baltimore or Philadelphia before they come down. So if you know a convention's coming into town, it's a great way to connect with convention goers. If you know festivals in town, hit that area where those people will be and congregating. And if during the day and the people are sitting in the stands or looking at their phones, hopefully you can attract them to your place if you aren't oversold and you're not busy. So you want to reach those people that you can fill seats in. And it depends on what's happening for the rest of the summer, but these are just some ideas for reaching them while they're at the beach and engaging them. Now, getting into the recruiting piece. This is where you can go in and recruit people potentially from other cities. So the data is out there. We've got the data on the bars. So if somebody has been in a bar or a restaurant, we can look at people that have been there for, let's say, 10 days over the last 30. It's probably a worker. So let's serve an ad to these servers that are there and try to get them down to the beach. So if you've got something that's really enticing to bring a staff person from one of these cities that if there's 25% occupancy at some of these city locations and the waitresses and waiters aren't working, they're not making enough money tip side, well, great. How can you actually bring them down to the beach? That's some of the things that I think might help your business in at least engaging and hiring people to get them down. I know that was one of the things that was talked about this morning too. Recruiting through high schools and colleges. So you can do the same thing. You can do highly targeted areas where it's just high schools and reaching those high schools or colleges. So you can put that into the mix as well. So if there's a way to run some of these ad campaigns to do recruitment and find people, it's hitting them where their phones are and targeting where exactly you think that they'll come from. And look at historical. Look who's worked at your facility before. Are there people from Philly, New Jersey that are coming down? A lot of Towson students are down in the area. A lot of them are from New Jersey. So maybe there's a way to make sure you're hitting the college, you hit Towson University, and then maybe you hit some people in Jersey. I don't know. But there are definitely different characteristics of some of those audiences that you already know that you want to have as an employee. Another way to recruit staff is, we can hit those devices again that have been in a hotel. So if they've been working in a hotel or on premise for longer periods of days, then that potentially could be an employee for you. So these are just some things that we can target just to give you some ideas. Real estate offices, hair salons, convenience stores, department stores, factory outlets, fraternity, sorority, wedding planners. So there's so many different behavioral metrics to look at and deep dive into the data. And like I said, we work with web development firms. So if you currently work with a web development firm, let them know, show them this presentation and see what they have, or have them contact us. We don't build websites. We just work pure with data, and we work with conversions and making sure people are coming to your website and driving traffic. So again, just to reiterate, some of the things that we're doing and what you want to do is make sure you're working and looking at the data from the past with your email list, with any website actions. Any first party data that you have is super, super, super important, because you've got lookalikes that you can go and find and bring back to your area. So these are just some tips, tactics that we think are important for your business. I appreciate your time that you spent. I know we are definitely excited about what's happening down there this year. I'm excited to be down there and doing a bunch at the beach. So we're members of Ocean Pines Chamber, and then we're also members here. So thank you for your time. And if there's any questions that you absolutely have, just let us know. Reach out to us. My email address is dave@inradius.com, or you can call us up or shoot us a note at info@inradius.com. But appreciate it. Thanks for the time today, and thanks for letting me share this event. Take care.